Good morning, Bravehearts, and good morning, Garfield, New Jersey. Welcome back to Marv in the Morning. Running a little tardy today, aren't we? Yeah, kept you waiting, huh? So, you could blame it on my coffee. I actually gave my coffee machine a vinegar wash yesterday, and I did rinse it out a couple times yesterday too, but I went to drink the coffee that I brewed right before the show that I usually do every morning, and it smelled like vinegar still. So I was like, I don't want to drink vinegar coffee today. It's Friday, baby. I don't want to drink vinegar coffee. So yeah, I had to I make a whole new batch. I didn't want to do the show without coffee because it's becoming a signature. Drinking coffee, dropping gems. That's what Jeb said, right? So it's Ask Marv Anything Friday. It's episode 15th. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Oh man, yeah. I picked out some topics that we could just cover, just in case the questions don't come in that quick, or there's not a steady pace of questions coming in. You always gotta have a backup there. But for the most part, we do freestyle on Fridays. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I definitely enjoy coming up here without a plan. Because you can't plan everything. You cannot plan everything, so you just got to go with the flow sometimes. Go with the flow and see where life takes you. Any way the wind blows, like Freddie Mercury said. If you're watching post live, the timestamps will be below if you want to jump ahead to the AMA portion of the video. But like we do every day at this time, if you're looking to start a podcast, Bravery Studios is the place to do it, the number one place to do it in New Jersey. We do the editing, uploading, production, we'll give you a logo with a graphic design, all that jazz. We do it here in Bravery Studios. We do all the work. All you have to do is come here and speak. Speak your mind. Let us take care of the rest of it, the absolute rest of it. And we have a Discord link below in the description of the video as well for anyone that wants to submit podcast episodes for me to review live. Here I'm Marv in the Morning. We have a channel in there where you could drop the link. I'll listen to it right before the show. That way it's fresh on my mind. I'll have it playing as I'm setting up, like as in today. Well, yeah. Let's rewind a little bit to last night actually before we start with today. I went to the pet shop in Jersey City. Shout out to the pet shop in Jersey City. I ran into Papa Reese over there. Yeah, RVR, the legend himself, Reese Van Ripper. I ran into him yesterday at the pet shop, and good to see him. I've been admiring his podcast from Instagram for about a month now. I think I've been admiring his podcast, and yesterday I ran into him. We shook hands. We chopped it up for a little bit. And he was telling me how he recorded like a session in a dramatic amount of hours of a day. And I was like, you do that many recordings in one day? I'm like, wow, that's awesome, dude. That's really awesome that you could bang those out like that. I don't know if I've ever recorded for that long. But man, awesome to know that this man did 8 hours of podcasting in one day. Wow. That's dedication if there ever was dedication. If dedication even is a thing, right? That's dedication, baby. So yeah, awesome meeting him. He has a cool aesthetic, a cool look to him. I mean, he's a musician as well. I was actually watching his show right before while setting up this morning show. I was watching a little bit of his most recent episode, and then I went back to like the first episode. And I saw what he did at Prototype. I think, man, if I could remember the names, maybe watching it right before the show is not the best. But yeah, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious watching it. And where I left off on episode 1, he was praising Alex Jones, which to each their own. I don't have a particular opinion about the guy, but I like that his podcast is called the Revelation Podcast. It's like he's speaking his mind, and that's what's important, honestly. That's honestly what's important, that you come untethered and you be authentic on your podcast. Because if you feel these way about certain things, you should absolutely speak your mind about it, especially if it's your show. Yo, we got B in the house. What up, B? How you doing, man? How you doing? But yeah, shout out to the Revelation Podcast. Was watching it right before the show. I also have a big announcement today. For Bravery Studios, and for the ladies of Bravery Studios in particular, we're going to do a live podcast showcase here in October 22nd. Let me see if I can pull up this flyer over here for you, for everyone to see. Yada yada yada, bing bing bong. We nope, and we went to the wrong place. Nope, nope, nope. You see, profile. There you go. Now we're cooking with napalm. So yes, girl power, ladies of bravery event. Let me see if I can zoom that in. Oh well, it makes the text bigger, but not the not the real. But yeah, Ladies of Bravery event, live podcast showcase in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes, we're going to be celebrating femininity together. We're going to have the Illas Girls Next Door, the Spiritual Tip Podcast, and No Filter Podcast, each doing a live set there. Well, I don't know if you call it a set, it's not music, but yo, I'm most def coming through to support the ladies. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. But yes, indeed, that's going down. That's going down October 22nd, so about a month from now. Is it a month from today? I think no. Well, it would have been a month from yesterday. But yeah, the ladies are gonna be rocking the house that day, and I'm really happy for it. It's actually our first live podcast showcase. So I think I'm gonna be doing that monthly. I think I'm gonna take 3 podcasts and ask them, hey, would you guys be up for hosting a live podcast here in the studio? Take 3 podcasts of similar niches and put them together and combine their audiences and get them to network and just do a live show for people to listen. I think it's awesome. I think one of the probably the biggest reason I took a bigger space when finding a studio is for that point alone, just to have something where we could do live shows. It definitely it's definitely going to be a good time. It's definitely going to be a good time, and I'm excited for it. So let's see in October. We have other events coming down the pipe too. I know Scooter wants me to do a game night again soon, but I think I might just do a podcasters meetup night where all the podcasters could just come here and bring guests and hang out, have games. Maybe we'll combine that with karaoke. We do karaoke the same time, same day. That was hot. That's a fresh brewed cup of coffee right there, baby. That was hot. That was hot. Yeah, man. But yeah, I want to combine podcasts together. Build a community more. Definitely do more community building events. And I think the live podcasts and podcasters meetups, and game nights and whatnot. I think that's all cool stuff. So definitely look forward to more events being called out down the pipe soon. I'm trying to think. What else would I want to? We're still going to be doing video game tournaments. I think in November we have Rival Fools. Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, November 19th we have another Rival Fools Street Fighter 5 event, and that's where we team up with Johnny, Clev, Patty, and they host their events here. I mean, it's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be definitely a good one as well. Definitely a good one. And trying to think of more. We might do a Friendsgiving. I'm not sure yet. Might do a Friendsgiving where I'm putting together the pieces to see how that would work, especially because it's just other events that are happening around the time, like in the area too. So we have to be mindful of what else is going on around us, But yeah, definitely want to get the events popping. In here. If you're just jumping in now, once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and make sure you hit the notification bell if you have not already. It's Marv in the Morning. It's Ask Me Anything Fridays. Ask Me Anything Fridays, right? I also want to give a shout out to Erica and Jade. They both were here yesterday on a podcast, and then after that podcast, we hit a couple bars. These girls are queer beer sipping on Instagram, and I really hope they start a podcast. Well, Erica had mentioned that she has the equipment and she's been working towards it, but I really want to get them here in Bravery, honestly. I love what they're doing. I love what they stand for. I love what they fight for, what they're fighting for, and they want women to be known and recognized more in the beer communities, in the beer industry, particularly craft beer. We went out to Burke's in Jersey City. No, not Jersey City. That was in Newark. Burke's in Newark. Forgive me. And had a good time there. Chopped it up. I'm trying to think. Then we went to Pet Shop in Jersey City. That's where I also met RVR over there, Reese over there, Big Papa Reese, in Jersey City at the Pet Shop. Pet Shop's a cool place, and I like the name of that bar. I just like the name a lot, the Pet Shop. I like the name a lot. But yeah, we went to the pet shop, had a couple IPAs there. I'm an IPA guy. I remember I first tried an IPA when I was like 21 probably, and I thought it was disgusting. But then I hit 30 and like palate changes, age settles in, couple wrinkles under the eyes. You're like, hey, IPAs, man, IPAs, yeah, definitely. But yeah, then we went to Pet Shop, and then we went to Ani Ramen. And Ani Ramen, man, forget about it. I don't know. Is that the only ramen place I've been? I think that's the only ramen place I've been to. I was gonna call it the best ramen place I'd ever been to, but I think it's the only one I've ever been to. I only go to that one. I was introduced to that one, and that's the one I go to. And yeah, we were there, Erica. We were there with Will. We were there with Jade, just discussing beer topics. They were educating me. I love beer, but I just love to drink it. I don't know the mathematics and the geometry behind it. You know what I mean? I don't know any of that stuff, any of that jazz. But they know their stuff, and they kind of were schooling me. They were schooling the podcast. So yeah, it was a good time hanging out with them, and I hope we can get together and do more beer centric events for the queer beer community. Because that's one thing I would definitely want to do more of. Just do things for communities that are fighting for something. Absolutely want to help people. Because I didn't get no help doing this, and I wish I did. I sure wish I did. I wish there was somebody to lend a hand, some allies in the battle out here. Definitely wish there was some allies out here for sure. But other topics that I wanted to cover. Okay, so let's look into the. I was actually in my own head discussing the question of freedom of speech on podcasting. And mind you, this is not a lecture or a lesson. I'm not teaching it. This is me just thinking out loud about it because the conversation did come up. I heard it on Reese's podcast, and the the concept of freedom of speech when it comes to podcasting. Um, I think freedom of speech should exist in every space, in every sector of the planet, right? Obviously. But what about people that are spreading such hateful jazz, like that Andrew Tate's and the misinformation from some of Joe Rogan's guests and whatnot, right? Do these shows that get millions of listeners have a responsibility to uh, always spread the facts and always kind of filter what they're saying to fit what is the accepted truth? I don't know if there is a absolute truth, right? I don't know if there is an absolute truth, but yeah, well, do these big platforms, podcasting platforms, have a responsibility to follow what is the accepted truth, or more so the politically correct truth, right? Should Andrew Tate have been taken off the internet completely? Yeah, I think I heard he was back on or whatever, but I don't know. I don't even know where he was at to begin with because I never really listened to him. But should something like that that's spreading hate and misinformation be taken off the internet? Should it be gone? Should it be we do a book banning, a book burning actually, a book burning? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I think there should be different platforms for different content. I think that we find a place where we find a Walmart on the internet, right? YouTube is a Walmart for videos. Apple is like a Walmart for podcasts and music, and that's the only place that we feel like we can grow. I guess they have a stranglehold on the industry, on the internet, right? Those big giant platforms where we get our content from. Um, but I don't know. I wish, and I guess I would want there to be an alternative. That way, if you're doing something that's only for over 18, rated R, rated M for mature, then you have this other platform that you can go to that you know what you're getting when you go in there. That way, it's like an agreement. Like, hey, listen, this is not a this is not a politically correct space. This is not a platform for the weak of heart. This is the real deal, baby. This is Woodstock '99 over here, right? And I guess if you were given the warning in advance before, then you can't really be too mad about what's up there, because it's not curated. It's not for advertisers or whatnot. And I think a couple degrees of separation between that kind of content, and then I don't want to call it socially acceptable content, but content that isn't, I guess, what would be the term, that isn't offensive. I guess all content can kind of be offensive, right? I don't know about that one either, if that works. But less offensive content, right? Less offensive. Um, why can't something like that exist? Is the question. Because yeah, like, if Instagram doesn't want the Andrew Tate on his platform, if YouTube, if Apple, Spotify, all these giant platforms, they deplatform him, is there not an alternative? Is there not somewhere where he can go and kind of still be given the freedom to speak his mind, where he wins in that case, and then the podcasters that don't, the audiences that don't want to see that kind of content are spared of it as well? Does that work? Is that how freedom of speech works, right? You just a couple degrees of separation, just like we do with church and state over here, right? I don't know. I don't know why something like that doesn't exist. Maybe I got to create it. Maybe. But yeah, man, like, this is just a thinking out loud portion of the day. I I record a lot of people, and I listen to people's opinions on all sides of the spectrum. Far right to humongously far left, right? And I don't stick my nose into those conversations that could uh, offend someone. I avoid politics and religion completely. I don't have a political bone in my body. I think I mentioned that, man, like every episode probably. Anytime we talk about politicians or whatever, right? But where I was going with this is that where am I going with this actually? I recorded everyone from every opinion in every sector, right? But I don't have an opinion on certain things. I don't say much. I stay in my corner, let them spew. And if someone would come in here and it was like the most offensive thing, like it was like a Nazi that walks in here and wants to record a podcast, right? At that point, I'd probably close the door. Like, no, I don't think this is for you, guy. Definitely not. A racist, or like, something, violence against women, anti-feminist, whatever it is. I guess when it comes to extremes, I would definitely not allow it, because sometimes I can't even just listen to it. I used to record a podcast virtually. Someone that's probably pretty famous, I used to record his podcast virtually. And it was political. It was a political podcast, but it was super far right. Super far right. And it wouldn't have mattered even if it was super far left either. I still probably wouldn't have been into it. But at first, I'm collecting. This is years ago too, by the way. This is way before everything. But I'm collecting the cash. I'm doing the job. I think like 3 weeks in, I just was like, I can't even do this anymore, man. I can't even pretend that I want to listen to such hateful. I don't want to absorb that energy. You get me? I don't want to even absorb that energy. That's really what it comes down to, man. Cause your opinions are your opinions, and your thing is your thing, man. But I don't want to absorb that energy, and I don't want to have that energy in me. It's like draining for me to like listen to that for like an hour. It's super draining for me to listen to that. So I definitely wouldn't allow it here. Now, if I owned YouTube, if I owned Apple, Spotify, the social media sites, Twitter, would I've debanned? Would I've deplatformed someone like Andrew Tate, who's spreading anti-woman, very toxic masculine opinions out there? Would I have deplatformed him? I don't know, because I never really listened to the guy. I never really gave an episode a chance to listen to it and hear exactly what he's saying. I've heard I've heard people quote him. If they're quoting correctly, then it was some pretty harsh stuff. But I've never actually listened to the guy, and I try to save my opinions for things I know about. Um, I could give you a more solid opinion on what I think of the guy if I ever actually gave it a listen, but I don't even have a I don't have any desire to listen to that. But when it comes to like Joe Rogan now, Joe Rogan, I think was it last summer or was it this summer that him and Neil young Neil, our Canadian Bob Dylan from up north, um, him and by it's like a 70s rocker and a podcaster going at it, right? It was Neil Young, having grown up with polio or suffered from polio, whatever polio is, just felt like Joe Rogan was spreading so much misinformation about it that he told Spotify, "Hey, if you don't take Joe Rogan off your platform, then I'm taking my music off your platform." And I'm taking a couple of my buddies with me because he is very powerful in the music industry. He has a lot of musician friends. So bye bye, like a lot of folk, classic rock that was on Spotify. It might have come back already now. It's been a year. I don't know if that whole thing blew over or whatnot. I know Joe Rogan didn't go anywhere, but Joe Rogan spreading misinformation, and Joe Rogan's argument is, well, hey man, I'm giving my guests, I'm getting guests from every spectrum. I just want everyone to get their opinion in and hear everything from every angle, and I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Ultimately, we kind of just have to come up to our own conclusion because I don't think you can look at Joe Rogan's podcast as a Bible. It's not a guide for life, right? It's not a guide. You can't look at it like that, right? But I think that is how it is with all media. I think anything becomes too popular. Yo, we got Jeps in the chat. Anything becomes too popular, people are gonna find a reason to hate it. So Joe Rogan's the biggest podcast. Of course, there's gonna be haters, and these haters are probably gonna be vocal and loud. Um, So when Pokemon was big, my mom told me Pokemon was from the devil, and that I couldn't play him or whatever. And I think she still ended up buying me some later, though. I don't remember really if it was my mom or my dad. But the point is, Pokemon was so popular, they had to find something wrong with it. This is taking everyone's attention, and this is something I don't like. Why do I gotta hear people talking about it all the time? So it could be just a hater thing or whatnot, but for everybody just jumping in, we're talking about freedom of speech and podcasting. Um, I kind of took it there just because I'm trying to think what's been relevant in the podcasting world recently, and those are the two things that I've been thinking of, like the Andrew Tate situation, where I said I don't know if I would allow something like that in my presence, but I wish there was a platform for him to go, like an alternative platform than what is the safe and friendly, or supposed to be safe and friendly spaces of social media. But in the Joe Rogan situation, it's more about misinformation, and from his guests particularly. And Joe Rogan kind of has a very agnostic way of looking at life, right? I think what he agrees with guests to say one thing, and he agrees with the guests to say another thing, and they're on opposite sides. Both of these guests don't agree with each other. So Joe Rogan's just whole thing is, let's let everyone speak their mind, right? Which is a freedom of speech thing too. And Neil Young kind of, I don't know all the facts completely straight, so don't hurt me for this. I don't know if Neil Young is forgetting the rebellious spirit of being an artist, where like you can't tell me what not to do. You can't tell an artist what not to do. So, and I know Neil Young is a rock star. I mean, he's folk rock, but come on, you got a rock and roll bone in your body somewhere in there. It's like be a rebel. So what the mainstream is saying, someone has to give other sides of that belief. Nobody's got it 100% right. Not the news, not the podcasters. Definitely not just you people on the internet, the kids with a camera in their in their studio like me over here. Nobody's got it all right. So I figure let people speak their mind, but just create different avenues for people to get this content. That way, it's not offending people who are more sensitive to certain things. I guess is the words. I guess, but yeah, yeah. So shout out to Joe Rogan. Shout out to Joe Rogan. I know. I feel like more people are hating him now. Top 5 people you would love to interview. That's let's see. But shout out to Joe Rogan to end that topic off. I know shouts out to Andrew Tate, whatever his name is. But shout out to freedom of speech though. Shout out to freedom of speech for sure, and shout out to freedom and being able to do that. Um, Debatable whether we actually have that power right now or not, but I look at the positive side and say, yeah, we probably do. We probably do have freedom of speech. I don't know. I kind of wake up and say whatever I want. But Jason Enrique, my bro, my pal, my buddy, how you doing? He said top 5 people you would love to interview. Top five, top five, top five, top five. Okay. Top 5 people I would love to interview. I would love to interview Joe Fucarino. Definitely. That's long overdue. I keep telling Matt from Lovely Important Nonsense that I want to interview him. I keep telling Matt. I keep asking, hey, you free Saturday? So maybe I should hit him up and ask him if he's free tomorrow and just do it, knock it out. So definitely Matt, formerly of TRST, Matt Spelling, Matt the Dragon. Who else would I want to interview? I'm gonna get Squirrel. I'm gonna get Squirrel up here soon, man. That's for sure. Squirrel's probably next on my list. I still got to finish off the interview with Matt from Prototype. That podcast was a roller coaster ride, Jay. You should have been here. So got to finish off that interview. But also John from Prototype, the architect over there, the man who takes old furniture and makes it into art. That guy, I really want to talk to him. And now I want to talk to Reese from Big Papa Reese over here from the Revelation podcast. Definitely want to talk to him. Let's see. Well, is there anyone else I want to talk to? I don't really have too many celebrities I would like to speak to. I don't have any no, nothing really too fascinating there. I want to get the mayor. Let's put this guy at number 1. I want to put the mayor of Garfield. I want to get the mayor of Garfield in here for an interview. Richie Riggs. Seems like a Mondo cool dude. If you guys know him, tag him. Hashtag come to Bravery. Yeah, Richie. Yeah, man. Come to Bravery, Richie Riggs. We got to get you in here for an interview. I have a podcaster who says she was a former student of yours and says you were a cool guy. So definitely want to chop it up with the mayor of Garfield over here. Definitely want to chop it up. That's my number 1. I'm going to try to get him in here before year's end. Let's set a goal for that. We'll try to get him in here before year's end. So yeah, shout out to the city of Garfield and shout out to Richie Riggs, Mayor Richard. I won't even pretend that last name that's a before I even butcher it. Let's see it over here. Richard Rigolioso. Actually, that's not too bad to say. I can definitely say it. We're going to get you in here, Richie. That's for sure, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Rigolioso. It sounds like the best tasting spaghetti on planet Earth, honestly. But yes, indeed. That's some of the 5. I probably went over 5 at that point, but yeah. Those are the ones. Those are definitely the big ones. Get Joe in here, but I don't want to get Joe and Zane together. All right, yeah, or one at a time. But I also want to interview new people. I want to interview people I don't know too. That's like a number 2 before all the other names. Put the Mayor Garfield and put second somebody I don't know. Interview somebody I know nothing about. But is making waves and splashes in the creative spaces, I think I want to get into new environments and new networks, new people. I want to do all that jazz for sure, for sure. I want to get in new spaces. I saw Jay. I saw you yesterday with the Arena podcast, and I think they have a new location too, right? Is that what's going on? Like Hoodie's making waves over there. But yeah, man, my coffee's still really hot. This thermos works really, really well. Really, really well. Really, really well. But yeah, how you call it? But yeah, Mayor Garfield for sure in here. Then somebody new. Get to new spaces. I loved meeting Reese yesterday. I loved hanging out with Erica and Jade yesterday. Queer beer sipping, and I definitely loved just working with everyone new that's kind of been entering my space, right, my network, and hopefully more newness to come. It's a new season. It's fall. I'm wearing a sweater. Listen, guys, I went from I went from wearing a Hawaiian shirt the first episode to a sweater, a hoodie by the 15th episode. 3 weeks in, the weather, the temperature is just woof. We out of here. See you later. It was freezing last night in Jersey City. Freezing, freezing, freezing. But yeah, Bravehearts. Yes, Bravehearts. Uh, it's time for me to hit that old dusty trail. I have to hit that old dusty trail. And a great episode, good talk, good little thinking out loud session with the whole Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan thing. Um, Maybe I'll just think out loud on Fridays on how you call it, think out loud Fridays. I'll look up some podcasting news and I'll see what's going on in the podcast space from the heavy hitters, the big wigs or whatnot, and maybe I'll throw that out on Fridays as well. But shout out to Jay, shout out to Jeps, shout out to B. Thank you for watching, guys. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to hit that old dusty trail. Stay brave, seize the day, and fight for the future. Peace.